Hello, good morning, and it's Friday, and what a morning. It's a little bit sort of foggy and misty out there, so I don't know how everybody else is, but that's what it's like in South Norfolk at the moment. Anyway, we're talking about overthinking and overthinking about decisions, about ambitions, about situations, opportunities. It doesn't matter. It's all about that bloody overthinking that we do. And apparently, according to research, women do it more than men. I don't know. I haven't read the research, but that's what they say. Anyway, so yes, it's all about that. And the reason why it's so important is it actually ties into all the other elements that we talk about, which is motivation, confidence, anxiety and stress. So overthinking in its extreme can cause not just physical health problems with stomach ulcers, panic attacks, as in breathing sort of things, and chest complaints that we think are physical, but they're not. They're actually all geared up, but they are really real, if that makes sense. But it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. And even though it's exhausting, it impacts on our sleep. So we have poor sleep too, which is very odd. It was all these weird things that they don't really add up, but they so do add up. They're all an internal job. And that's the beauty, because we rule ourselves, nobody else does. So if we can actually overcome this and start challenging it and start taking it on board, because it is a habit, absolutely we can improve so many areas of our life, so many. So the reason why I'm bringing it here is because I've been working with a lady, and as always, don't worry, I'm going to keep it very confidential, but been working with her, she's got a real big life event and decision that she needs to come to. So we started working on this. And blow me down, if she hasn't had this same thing for 3 years. 3 years she's been trying to make a decision. Right time, right place, everything in the right order, and blah, 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 and all the rest of it. And that sort of horrified me, really, because it's really sad. Because it's a bit like, if I said to you, it's a bit like seeing a beautiful shell on the seashore as the waves go out, and you see this beautiful shell, and you wait because the waves come back in, but you think, next time I'll go for it. But as that wave comes out, another one comes in, and it covers your shell. And you go, well, I'm going to get it next time I'm going to get it with a smaller wave, and then the next wave comes, and it overlaps, and again it covers the shell, and eventually the shell goes. It goes with the next wave, and you've missed that opportunity just because you can't get your feet wet. And it's that what we're talking about today, because it's those sorts of things that we don't get often a real second chance at it. Sometimes we do, but even then, because we haven't resolved this, it's like we're not anywhere nearer being ready than we were before. So it is like confidence. It is that sort of elusive, when I'm confident, it'll be okay. No, we need to start working on it. We absolutely need to start working on it so that we actually power up that muscle, so that we are ready to go for it. Now, I'll come back to my client in a minute, because I think it really does show you that actually there are ways of tackling this. So, what we do really is we start over-researching, don't we? We start looking for that ultimate answer, that one answer that's absolutely going to be right, that we can truly trust, believe in, and it's going to make the difference. But in actual fact, there is a limit to that, because that doesn't really ever exist, because it doesn't exist in our life. So all those different things with that answer, if there's one thing that's out of line, then the sum doesn't add up. I'll give you an analogy of what I'm really talking about. So it's like a bit like cleaning your kitchen, for instance, or hoovering up. You think, oh, it's easy, I'll just have a quick wipe round and then I'll be done. Well, you move the microwave, don't you? The stuff behind the microwave, so you then have to clean that. As you're cleaning that and you move that back, you notice actually the toaster, and then you notice this, and you end up with these big jobs, don't you? On top of everything else, when all you're going to do is quick wipe round. Think about when you go in and hoover up. Quickly hoover up and then we'll be out. No, we hoover up, we take the cushions off, all the crumbs. Then we start rooting down in between because we then find some money. And we think, well, we better check all the other ones, didn't we? Then we better move that one out. And before you know it, you've ordered a bloomin' skip, haven't you, for all the rubbish that you didn't realise you had, but you have, and therefore you want to get rid of. Or you've got to go down the tip because you've got all this paper. And then you've got, I don't know, maybe chips out of the wall. So you then think, oh, maybe we ought to decorate. It does look a bit scruffy, doesn't it? And you just pile it up and pile it up. And ultimately, you've not even vacuumed yet, and the day is gone. And this is what we do with our opportunities. It's our shell, isn't it? It's our shell. And those waves keep coming, and we just find something else, and we find something else. So going back to my client, we talked about this, and the difficulty was really acknowledging that this was happening. It was just because it was a difficult decision. But we weren't recognising that actually we were finding other things to bring objections into the mix. But all of her objections are really real. They're so valid. You can't argue with them. They're absolutely solid. But what I had to sort of say to her is I wanted to sort of get her really to sit in an armchair. Just imagine sitting in an armchair with that decision, with that opportunity, with that ambition, or whatever it is, and you put it on your lap, right? You're sitting with it on your lap. It's yours. It's absolutely yours. Find the first objection, and imagine that's a pillow. So you put that on top of your lap. Then you find your next objection, and you put that on there. Because they all belong. They absolutely all belong. Find the next objection. You'll find that at the end of finding all those objections, because each one will have its own little lifespan and lifeline, the natural fact, not only can't you hear or see the first opportunity or that ambition anymore, nor will you be able to see over the top, nor will you be able to see your life. And then I said to her, I said, can you please now, with all of that, stand up and get on with life without dropping a cushion? Well, you can't. So in actual fact, what we then started doing is taking each one of those objections and saying, is this really real? Is it absolutely certain that this is going to happen? Or is it a thought? And it's really powerful when you then think, maybe it's a thought. Okay, let's get rid of that thought. Let's put it to one side, right? And then you work your way down. Now, if it's a real situation, we can then deal with it. But at the same time, we're so much closer to our ambition. We're so much further along to taking an action. And if that action happened, would that bust this one out of the way? Absolutely. 9 times out of 10, it will throw that objection to one side because you will be absolutely feeling the power of doing what you wanted to do in the first place. I'm going to leave that with you. I want to see if that works for you. And do please let me know. I've heard back from her, and she's actually playing with it with other things as well, but that's fine. This is all what I want to give you is tools that you can use right the way through. So think about it, try it, test it. You won't know if it works unless you do it. But do let me know. Share my video as always. If you think it's going to be really helpful to anybody else, I would be delighted. Anyway, I hope that's really useful for you. And yeah, come back to me, tell me. Anyway, speak to you soon. Bye-bye.